Have you ever wondered why some women seem to have men completely captivated by just a few words on their phone? Why a simple message can make someone think about you all day, feel your presence even when you're not there, and crave the moments when you finally meet? It's not magic, it's psychology. It's the subtle power of words, the energy behind them, and the confidence that shines through every letter you send. And today, you're going to learn exactly how to tap into that power. The truth is, attraction isn't just about looks or even shared interests. It's about how you make someone feel. Human beings are wired to respond to mystery, attention, and the feeling that they are missing something extraordinary. When you master the art of messaging in a way that triggers these emotions, you don't chase him. You pull him toward you effortlessly. And yes, this works every time when done correctly. Imagine sending a text and then watching him smile at his phone, replay your words in his mind, and feel that magnetic pull he can't explain. That's the kind of connection these texts create. Think about it. Every day, millions of messages are sent, most of them dull and forgettable. But a few words, carefully chosen, can ignite a spark that lingers long after the screen goes dark. And here's the secret. It's not about being overt or obvious. It's about confidence, subtlety, and timing. The texts you're about to discover aren't just random lines. They are psychologically crafted tools that can awaken desire, intrigue, and emotional connection in ways that no other message can. But before you learn them, you need to understand why they work. It's not manipulation, it's understanding human nature. Men, like everyone else, are drawn to excitement, challenge, and authenticity. When a text makes him feel playful anticipation, curiosity, or even a slight tension of wanting more, it activates parts of the brain associated with desire and attachment. This isn't about games, it's about empowering yourself to express confidence, flirtation, and interest in a way that feels natural, effortless, and irresistible. Now imagine the difference between sending a text that says, "Hey, what's up?" and sending a message that makes him pause, smile, and replay it in his head 5 times before he even replies. One is forgettable, the other lingers. One blends into the noise of his day, the other becomes a moment he looks forward to. Which do you want to be, the forgettable or the unforgettable? The answer is obvious, and that's exactly why the texts you're about to learn are so powerful. Here's another truth. The right text doesn't just create attraction, it builds anticipation. It plants a seed in his mind that grows stronger with every interaction. By the time you see him next, he isn't just interested, he's invested. An investment is the emotional currency of desire. When you know how to craft a message that sparks that investment, you step into a realm of influence that feels natural and magnetic. You hold the power to awaken feelings that he didn't even know were possible, all through the energy and intention behind your words. But here's something crucial. It's not about sending messages that feel fake or forced. It's about sending messages that reflect your confidence, your playful side, your charm, and your uniqueness. When you communicate from a place of self-assured energy, every word has weight. Every pause, every hint of flirtation, every subtle tease works because it comes from a genuine place. Psychology shows us that humans are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and authenticity. When you align your words with your energy, the effect is undeniable. By the time this video is over, you won't just know 9 texts that can make him crave you. You'll understand why they work, how to deliver them naturally, and how to create an irresistible energy that draws him closer with every interaction. You'll feel empowered because attraction isn't a mystery reserved for a select few. It's a skill you can master. And when you do, you're not just sending messages. You're sending signals of desire, intrigue, and confidence that make him think about you long after the conversation ends. So here's my promise. If you watch until the end, you'll walk away not just with 9 powerful texts, but with a deeper understanding of how to create magnetic attraction through words alone. You'll learn how to make him chase your attention, anticipate your next message, and feel a connection so strong that he can't ignore it. By the end, you'll know exactly how to ignite desire and make every interaction count. It starts with understanding one simple truth. You are powerful. Your words, your energy, your confidence, they shape how people perceive you and how they respond to you. When you master the art of texting with intention and awareness of human psychology, you step into a space where desire meets respect, attraction meets admiration, and curiosity meets anticipation. And the best part, it feels effortless because it comes from your natural energy, not from tricks or manipulation. So, take a deep breath and prepare yourself. What you're about to learn will change the way he notices you, thinks about you, and feels about you. By the time you finish this video, you'll understand not just what to text, but why it works, how it feels, and how it can transform the dynamic between you and the man you desire. Stay with me, because the first text will explore is subtle, powerful, and capable of sparking desire in ways that simple compliments never could. Desire begins in the mind long before it appears in action. When someone is genuinely drawn to another person, it is rarely about the surface. It is about how they feel, the emotions triggered by small, seemingly insignificant moments. A single word, a fleeting message, or a subtle hint can stir feelings deep inside, creating a connection that goes far beyond appearances. Understanding this is the key to creating attraction that feels effortless but is profoundly powerful. At its core, desire is a response to anticipation. The human brain is wired to chase things that promise excitement, challenge, and novelty. When a message hints at more than it reveals, it sparks curiosity. Curiosity leads to focus. Focus leads to longing. And longing is the emotional fuel that drives someone to think about you, replay your words, and imagine moments shared with you. Every carefully chosen message acts as a spark in this chain reaction, igniting thoughts that can linger throughout the day. Humans are also deeply drawn to confidence. Confidence communicates value without needing explanation. When words carry a sense of certainty, playfulness, or subtle command, they create an invisible pull. It's not about dominance or manipulation. It is about demonstrating self-assurance in a way that feels magnetic. A confident message tells him that you are aware of your worth, that you are desirable not because of his attention, but because of your own energy. This alone triggers attraction, because people naturally gravitate toward those who have a strong sense of self. Mystery plays a powerful role in desire. People are intrigued by what they cannot fully predict or control. A message that teases, hints, or leaves him wanting more creates a sense of tension, and tension is the heartbeat of excitement. When he cannot immediately satisfy his curiosity, he is drawn back again and again, seeking the answers your words promise. This is not about being secretive or dishonest. It is about presenting yourself in a way that is compelling, layered, and captivating. Every text becomes an invitation to discover more, to experience more, and to feel more. Emotion is another cornerstone of attraction. Humans respond more intensely to feelings than to logic. When a message makes him smile, imagine, or wonder, it creates an emotional resonance. That resonance becomes a memory, a small but powerful impression that lingers long after the text is sent. Words that evoke warmth, playfulness, or subtle desire trigger a subconscious response, making him associate positive feelings with you. The more consistently these feelings are sparked, the stronger the attachment grows, building a magnetic pull that feels natural and irresistible. Timing also influences desire. Messages sent at the right moment can intensify emotions, while poorly timed messages can fall flat. The human mind is sensitive to context. When a text arrives at a moment of curiosity, boredom, or reflection, it carries extra weight. It feels intentional, personal, and meaningful. This is why thoughtful, purposeful messaging creates a sense of presence that transcends distance. Even when you are not physically together, your energy, conveyed through words, becomes a constant, compelling presence in his thoughts. The words themselves matter, but the energy behind them matters even more. Confidence, playfulness, curiosity, and subtle sensuality all send signals that go beyond meaning. When a message is typed with awareness of its emotional impact, it becomes more than words. It becomes an experience. Each sentence can evoke laughter, longing, or intrigue, leaving him with an impression that is both powerful and difficult to forget. Understanding the connection between emotion and attraction is what allows a simple text to carry extraordinary influence. Humans are naturally drawn to challenge. When something feels slightly out of reach, it becomes more desirable. Texts that hint at playfulness, flirtation, or subtle unpredictability create this effect. They encourage engagement, making him want to respond, pursue, and discover more. This is the psychological principle behind why some messages linger in the mind long after they are received. They create a sense of pursuit, a feeling of being invited into a world that is intriguing, enjoyable, and emotionally stimulating. Beyond desire, connection is formed when messages convey authenticity. People can sense when words are genuine, when energy is real, and when intention is clear. Messages that reflect confidence, individuality, and subtle charm communicate that you are present, aware, and alive. This presence creates an invisible bond. He doesn't just read the text, he experiences it. It awakens emotions, sparks curiosity, and builds anticipation. Each interaction strengthens this connection, laying the foundation for deeper attraction and investment. Finally, understanding human psychology teaches that attraction grows when balance is maintained. Too much intensity can overwhelm. Too little can fade into indifference. The most compelling messages strike a delicate equilibrium. They tease but don't reveal everything. They flirt but remain authentic. And they create emotional engagement without pressure. This balance keeps him drawn in naturally, making every exchange feel effortless, exciting, and meaningful. When you internalize these principles, the act of sending a message transforms from a simple communication into a tool of influence and desire. Words become more than letters. They become energy, emotion, and a reflection of your confidence. Each text you send can trigger curiosity, longing, and anticipation, awakening desire in ways that feel completely natural and entirely magnetic. You hold the power to spark interest, to capture attention, and to leave a lasting impression with every carefully chosen phrase. The truth is simple. Attraction is not random. It is the result of emotional triggers, confidence, subtlety, and understanding human desire. When these elements are combined, even the smallest text can create a ripple effect in his mind, drawing him closer, making him think about you, and igniting a feeling that is impossible to ignore. By mastering this understanding, you step into a space where words hold extraordinary influence, where connection deepens, and where desire becomes a natural response to your energy. Words carry a power that many underestimate. They are not just letters on a screen, they are tools that can shape emotion, create connection, and stir desire. A single phrase carefully chosen can ignite curiosity, make someone smile, or even make their heart race. The energy behind a message often speaks louder than the words themselves. Every sentence carries a vibration of your confidence, your playfulness, and your allure. When words are used with intention, they do more than communicate. They influence, inspire, and attract. Language taps into the mind in ways that visuals or gestures cannot. A well-crafted text activates imagination. It invites him to picture scenarios, recall memories, and create emotional responses that tie directly to you. The brain responds to what it visualizes emotionally. When a message hints at something exciting, pleasurable, or intriguing, it triggers anticipation. Anticipation naturally heightens desire because it stimulates dopamine, the chemical responsible for motivation and excitement. This is why a few thoughtful words can feel far more powerful than hours of in-person interaction. The key lies in subtlety. Words that are too direct often remove mystery, while words that are too vague fail to create engagement. The most effective messages strike a balance. They suggest, imply, and tease without giving everything away. They create a mental pull that makes him think about you long after he has read them. This is not about playing games. It is about presenting yourself in a way that evokes emotion while remaining authentic. A text that leaves space for imagination invites connection, making every response an opportunity to deepen attraction. Tone is equally important. How something feels is often more influential than what it literally says. Playful teasing, gentle flirtation, and confident hints carry an emotional weight that cannot be measured by words alone. Texts that make him laugh or wonder evoke pleasure and curiosity, two core components of desire. These feelings are addictive because they make the interaction enjoyable. Over time, his mind associates excitement, fun, and emotional satisfaction with your presence, even if it is only through messages. Confidence amplifies every word. Texts that communicate certainty and self-assuredness make you appear valuable and magnetic. When a message reflects someone who knows their worth and is unapologetically themselves, it triggers admiration and respect. Men are naturally drawn to energy that signals independence and self-reliance. A confident message does not beg for attention. It commands it subtly, without force. This is why the tone of a text is as critical as its content. Timing creates layers of influence. A message sent when he is reflecting, resting, or slightly curious carries more emotional weight than one lost in the chaos of his day. When words arrive at a moment of receptivity, they feel intentional, personal, and meaningful. This is why thoughtfulness matters. A message that feels timely strengthens presence in his mind. It creates the illusion of proximity even when distance exists, and it establishes a rhythm of anticipation that deepens desire over time. Emotional resonance is the invisible bridge that connects attraction to action. Words that evoke subtle excitement, playfulness, or longing leave impressions that stick. Each message can be a small trigger, awakening feelings that develop into attention, curiosity, and desire. When emotions are stirred consistently, the brain associates these responses with the sender, creating attachment. This attachment grows naturally because it is based on positive reinforcement rather than pressure or manipulation. Imagination and intrigue work hand in hand. Messages that encourage him to imagine possibilities, fun dates, playful interactions, or tender moments, engage the mind actively. When imagination is engaged, he begins to experience these moments internally, even before they occur. This mental rehearsal strengthens desire because it blurs the line between thought and reality. Subtle hints of fun, adventure, or intimacy create a pull that is impossible to ignore. Every text becomes a chance to deepen connection through shared mental space. The energy behind the words is as important as the words themselves. A confident, playful, and authentic tone transmits emotion that cannot be faked. Humans unconsciously detect energy, and messages that radiate positivity, curiosity, and subtle charm naturally draw attention. Your words become a reflection of your presence, your personality, and your magnetism. Every message that carries this energy enhances attraction because it evokes emotion, intrigue, and a desire to engage. Finally, words can create patterns of anticipation that make interactions addictive. When messages follow an engaging rhythm, teasing, playful, or hinting at deeper connection, they create expectation. Expectation builds excitement, and excitement fosters desire. Over time, even brief exchanges can become highly impactful because each interaction reinforces attraction. Mastering this dynamic means understanding that a text is more than communication. It is a tool to influence emotion, trigger curiosity, and create a lasting impression. When words are aligned with intention, emotion, and confidence, they transform simple texting into an art of influence. Each message becomes a chance to spark curiosity, evoke emotion, and create longing. Attraction grows naturally when the brain is stimulated in subtle, enjoyable, and consistent ways. Messages stop being just letters. They become reflections of energy, hints of personality, and invitations to connect emotionally. This is the power of language when used wisely, and it is the foundation for every interaction that makes someone want to seek your attention. The first words you choose have the power to set the tone for desire. A message is not just a text. It is a subtle signal, a spark that can awaken curiosity and attraction in ways that go beyond surface-level interaction. The key is to make each word intentional, designed to create emotional engagement, and rooted in confidence. When the first message hits the right balance of intrigue and allure, it captures attention immediately. It draws him in, making him pause, smile, and feel a connection even before he replies. This is why the way you start a conversation matters more than most realize. The first text should hint at interest while remaining playful and confident. It is not about revealing everything at once. Instead, it invites him to invest his curiosity, to wonder what you mean, and to engage emotionally. For example, a message that teases lightly about something he would enjoy creates anticipation. When he reads it, his mind begins to imagine possibilities. He begins to replay your words, imagine scenarios, and look forward to your next message. This creates an invisible pull that makes him think about you even when you are not around. Psychology shows that subtle suggestion is far more powerful than direct statements. Messages that imply desire or attraction without stating it outright tap into the natural tendencies of the human mind. The brain is drawn to patterns that are partially understood but not fully revealed. This triggers curiosity and a need for closure, compelling him to seek more interaction. It is a form of emotional engagement that feels natural but creates a strong, magnetic effect. By crafting your words with subtlety, you become unforgettable, not by effort, but by the way your energy lingers in his mind. Confidence is the invisible thread that connects all attraction. The first text should reflect self-assurance, not neediness. It should communicate that you are aware of your worth and that your attention is valuable. When a message carries this energy, it changes the dynamic. He does not feel like he is being chased. Instead, he feels drawn to your energy, eager to respond and engage. Confidence in messaging is about demonstrating composure and charm through choice words, tone, and timing. It is the difference between a message that fades into the background and one that sparks genuine interest. The first example of a message that triggers desire can be as simple as a playful question that hints at a private joke or shared memory. It is light, teasing, and emotionally engaging. The charm lies in its subtlety. He knows you are thinking of him, but he does not have the full picture. This uncertainty fuels curiosity. He begins to wonder what else you are thinking, what else you might say, and how you will respond next. Each layer of intrigue strengthens his focus on you, building a desire to connect. The second text builds on emotional engagement by combining flirtation with imagination. A message that hints at a fun experience you could share or a playful scenario creates anticipation. It activates parts of the brain associated with pleasure and reward, making the interaction feel exciting. When he reads it, he begins to imagine the situation, replay it in his mind, and feel a sense of connection to you. This form of messaging goes beyond words. It creates an experience within his imagination, a subtle emotional rehearsal that deepens attraction. These first two messages are powerful because they are intentional, strategic, and authentic. They do not force attention or demand interest. Instead, they guide his thoughts, emotions, and imagination in a way that naturally draws him closer. The effect is cumulative. Each interaction reinforces curiosity, anticipation, and desire. He begins to associate your presence with excitement, playful energy, and a sense of emotional connection. This makes him want to engage, reply, and invest in the dynamic between you. Timing and context amplify their impact. A text sent when he is slightly idle, reflective, or open to interaction carries more emotional weight. It feels personal and deliberate, as if you have appeared in his mind exactly when he needs a spark. This subtle precision enhances the magnetic effect of your words, making each message feel intentional and meaningful. It is a demonstration of awareness and understanding of human emotion, which is far more attractive than any direct compliment. These messages also establish a rhythm of anticipation. They are not meant to reveal everything at once, but to create a series of emotional nudges that engage his curiosity repeatedly. Each text acts as a mini trigger, prompting thoughts, smiles, and longing. This repeated engagement builds momentum over time, transforming casual attention into consistent interest. He begins to seek your attention, replay your words, and anticipate your next interaction, all because the first messages were crafted with precision and energy. The underlying principle is simple. Attraction grows when emotions are engaged, curiosity is sparked, and confidence is communicated. By understanding these psychological triggers, the first texts become far more than words. They become invitations to connect, experiences to feel, and opportunities to ignite desire. When executed with subtlety and awareness, these initial messages create a foundation of magnetic attraction, ensuring that his attention is focused, his thoughts linger, and his desire grows naturally. After capturing attention with the first two messages, the next step is to deepen the connection by adding playful teasing and subtle flirtation. This stage moves beyond curiosity and anticipation into engagement, creating a sense of fun and emotional involvement. Texts that make him smile, laugh, or wonder are far more effective than direct statements of interest. They stimulate the mind and evoke feelings that encourage him to invest his attention, energy, and thoughts toward you. Playful teasing works because it introduces an element of challenge without creating tension. It signals confidence, charm, and wit, all qualities that naturally draw people in. A text that hints at a playful secret, a joke only the two of you share, or a lighthearted tease can make him feel engaged and excited. His brain responds to novelty, and teasing creates small moments of unpredictability that keep interactions fresh and memorable. This is why humor combined with flirtation is a powerful tool for attraction. It triggers emotional pleasure while maintaining a sense of mystery. A third text can be designed to spark this sense of playfulness. For example, a short, cheeky message that references an inside joke or playful observation draws him in emotionally. It shows that you are aware of him, that you share energy, and that interactions with you are enjoyable. This kind of text encourages engagement because it creates a mini emotional experience. He smiles, feels included, and is motivated to respond in kind, continuing the exchange. The brain naturally seeks repetition of these positive experiences, which deepens attention and desire. The fourth text builds on flirtation by subtly hinting at personal interest without being overt. This works on the principle of suggestion, where the mind fills in the gaps left by what is unsaid. Messages that imply attraction, curiosity, or anticipation activate mental patterns associated with desire. He begins to imagine scenarios, speculate on intentions, and mentally rehearse interactions. This subtle psychological effect increases focus on you, making your presence linger in his thoughts even when he is not actively communicating. Both of these texts are designed to balance fun with intrigue. Playfulness generates immediate emotional engagement, while suggestion plants the seeds of desire. This combination creates a powerful dynamic. He feels entertained, appreciated, and curious all at once. When messages evoke multiple emotions simultaneously, they leave a lasting impression that strengthens attraction over time. Each interaction becomes more than words. It becomes a mini experience that reinforces connection. Timing plays a critical role in these interactions. Messages sent at moments when he is relaxed, reflective, or slightly bored are more impactful. They feel spontaneous, personal, and meaningful, which enhances emotional resonance. Timing combined with playful tone amplifies the effect of these texts, making him more likely to respond with equal energy and enthusiasm. Subtle awareness of context shows emotional intelligence, which is inherently attractive and deepens the connection further. The energy behind each message must be authentic. Playful teasing or flirtation works only when it aligns with genuine confidence and natural charm. Forced or artificial tones are easily detected and can create disinterest instead of attraction. When your energy communicates enjoyment, engagement, and self-assuredness, each text becomes magnetic. He perceives your personality through the words, tone, and timing, which transforms ordinary exchanges into meaningful emotional experiences. These texts also work because they create a rhythm of anticipation. Playfulness, followed by suggestion, encourages him to think ahead, wonder, and imagine. He begins to look forward to your next message, anticipating the next emotional spark. Over time, this pattern builds an invisible tension that draws him closer. Desire is amplified not by force, but by consistent, subtle engagement that encourages curiosity and emotional investment. Psychologically, this approach leverages several key principles. First, the pleasure response is triggered when interactions are enjoyable and unpredictable. Second, anticipation builds desire by activating parts of the brain associated with reward. Third, engagement grows when the mind is given opportunities to imagine and emotionally participate. These principles explain why playful, teasing, and subtly suggestive texts have a far greater impact than straightforward or overly direct messages. By combining fun, charm, and subtle suggestion, these messages strengthen the emotional connection and make interactions irresistible. He begins to associate your presence with positive feelings, excitement, and intrigue. This emotional resonance ensures that he thinks about you often, anticipates your messages, and feels compelled to respond. Each playful exchange increases his desire and deepens the sense of connection. Ultimately, texts 3 and 4 are about creating energy, engagement, and emotional investment. They are designed to make him smile, think, and imagine. They are not about manipulation. They are about understanding psychology and human response, using words to evoke emotion and build anticipation. When executed with authenticity, timing, and confidence, these messages turn ordinary texting into an art of attraction. Through playful teasing and subtle suggestion, the foundation laid by the first two texts is strengthened. Desire becomes more active, curiosity more intense, and engagement more consistent. By combining these elements, each message works as part of a larger emotional pattern that naturally draws him closer, making him eager to interact and reinforcing the magnetic pull that keeps him thinking about you throughout the day. Once curiosity and playful anticipation are established, the next step is to deepen emotional engagement through teasing, fun, and flirtation. These interactions create energy, excitement, and a sense of connection that goes far beyond casual conversation. Texts that are playful and flirtatious evoke emotions that make him want to continue the interaction, think about you long after reading, and anticipate your next message with eagerness. This is where attraction begins to feel irresistible. Teasing creates a subtle challenge that draws him in without pressure. Humans are naturally motivated by novelty and challenge, and playful teasing offers exactly that. A short, cheeky message that hints at fun or lightly pokes fun encourages engagement while showcasing confidence and personality. When he reads it, he feels intrigued and entertained. The mental stimulation triggers positive emotions which become associated with your presence. This emotional association is powerful because it makes him seek more interactions to experience the same enjoyment. The fifth text should combine humor with flirtation. Humor is a magnetic force because it engages the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine, which creates pleasure and excitement. When a message makes him laugh or smile, it leaves an impression that goes beyond the words themselves. Flirtation layered on top of humor adds an element of intrigue, signaling interest and sparking imagination. He begins to think about you in ways that are playful, exciting, and emotionally engaging. These feelings make him eager to respond, continuing the interaction and deepening connection. The sixth text introduces a sense of subtle flirtation combined with personal attention. Messages that highlight something unique about him or reference a shared experience create intimacy. By acknowledging his qualities in a playful, lighthearted way, you reinforce emotional engagement without being overt. This builds attraction through recognition, emotional resonance, and subtle desire. He feels noticed, appreciated, and drawn toward your energy. Psychological studies show that people are naturally more attracted to those who make them feel valued, interesting, and emotionally engaged. Timing and context amplify the impact of these texts. Messages sent when he is relaxed, reflective, or in a moment of idle attention feel more personal and meaningful. When he is receptive, playful, and flirtatious texts carry extra emotional weight. They feel intentional rather than random, creating a sense of connection that is both magnetic and memorable. Proper timing allows your energy to be noticed, remembered, and felt, even when you are not physically present. Playfulness is not just fun, it is an emotional trigger. Humans are drawn to interactions that produce joy, excitement, and emotional arousal. When a message makes him smile, laugh, or imagine playful scenarios, it engages his brain in a way that creates positive associations with you. These repeated experiences of pleasure strengthen attachment and desire. By combining playfulness with flirtation, you make each interaction enjoyable and memorable, ensuring that he thinks about you consistently. Flirtation also works because it stimulates imagination. A text that hints at future experiences, playful encounters, or subtle emotional connection encourages mental rehearsal. He begins to imagine spending time with you, laughing together, and sharing moments of connection. This visualization strengthens desire because the brain starts to associate positive emotions with your presence. Over time, the anticipation builds, making him eager to interact, respond, and seek your attention. Authenticity remains crucial. Playful teasing and flirtation are effective only when they feel genuine and aligned with confidence. Forced messages, exaggerated tones, or insincere words are easily detected and can reduce attraction. Genuine energy communicates charm, awareness, and self-assurance. Each text becomes a reflection of personality and emotional presence. When your energy resonates with confidence and playfulness, it naturally draws him in, creating a magnetic dynamic that feels effortless. These texts also work because they create a rhythm of emotional engagement. A playful message followed by a subtle compliment or flirtatious hint establishes a pattern that stimulates curiosity and anticipation. This rhythm makes him look forward to each exchange, increasing emotional investment and deepening attraction over time. The more he experiences this combination of fun and attention, the more he associates positive emotions with your presence, reinforcing desire naturally. By now, the emotional connection has shifted from simple curiosity to active engagement. He is not just noticing you, he is experiencing interactions with you that evoke joy, intrigue, and anticipation. Each playful or flirtatious text is a mini emotional event that leaves a lasting impression. Desire grows because he feels both entertained and valued, and he begins to seek the energy you provide. This is the essence of attraction through subtle, intentional communication. Understanding the psychology behind these texts clarifies why they are so effective. Humor, playfulness, subtle flirtation, and personal attention activate emotional and cognitive responses that increase focus, attachment, and anticipation. Desire is not forced. It is cultivated through repeated positive interactions that engage both the heart and mind. When messages are aligned with confidence, authenticity, and awareness, they transform simple texting into a powerful tool for attraction and emotional connection. The fifth and sixth texts are pivotal because they strengthen engagement, deepen emotional resonance, and create a sense of playful connection. They build on the curiosity established in earlier messages and transform it into emotional investment. When executed with intention and awareness, these interactions ensure that he thinks about you, anticipates your messages, and feels a magnetic pull toward your energy. They are not just words, they are experiences, triggers, and invitations that draw him closer naturally and effortlessly. As the connection deepens, the next phase is about creating emotional longing and desire. At this stage, texts are not just playful or teasing. They evoke feelings that make him pause, reflect, and crave your presence. Longing is a powerful psychological trigger because it taps into the human need for emotional connection and anticipation. When a message sparks desire without overwhelming, it plants a seed that grows naturally in his thoughts. Messages designed to create longing rely on suggestion rather than direct statements. They hint at shared experiences, enjoyable moments, or private jokes, allowing him to imagine scenarios and anticipate interactions. When the mind fills in these gaps, it generates excitement and emotional engagement. The brain responds to anticipation with heightened focus and interest, increasing attention on you and your energy. Desire grows as he imagines what could happen next, making each message a subtle yet powerful tool for attraction. The seventh text should subtly evoke curiosity and interest while hinting at emotional connection. It could reference a moment you shared, a memory, or a playful scenario you plan to recreate together. By triggering mental visualization, you encourage him to mentally relive moments with you. These mental experiences engage pleasure centers in the brain, creating a sense of attachment and reinforcing positive emotions associated with your presence. He begins to think about you more often, even when he is not interacting with you directly. The eighth text builds on this by combining subtle desire with anticipation. A message that implies interest or attraction without stating it outright encourages imagination and emotional investment. When he reads such a text, his mind creates scenarios, mentally explores possibilities, and experiences a sense of connection. The pleasure of imagining you in his thoughts increases focus and emotional attachment. Desire is strengthened not by pressure, but by giving him space to emotionally engage and anticipate future interactions. These texts work because they appeal to natural psychological tendencies. Humans are drawn to what is slightly out of reach and emotionally engaging. When a message triggers mental rehearsal, imagination, or playful longing, it stimulates dopamine and oxytocin, the chemicals that create desire and attachment. By crafting messages that engage these responses, you transform simple words into experiences that captivate attention and deepen emotional connection. Timing and tone remain critical. Messages that arrive at moments of reflection or idle thought carry greater emotional weight. When he is receptive, even a subtle hint of interest can create a significant impact. The tone should be confident, light, and suggestive, creating curiosity without pressure. This combination ensures that desire grows naturally and that he feels drawn toward your energy rather than coerced. Longing works best when combined with elements of emotional resonance. Texts that evoke nostalgia, shared laughter, or personal connection create attachment because they generate feelings of intimacy and familiarity. He begins to associate these emotions with your presence, making interactions not only enjoyable, but meaningful. The more he experiences this emotional resonance, the stronger his desire becomes. Each message reinforces his focus on you and his anticipation for future exchanges. Imagination is the bridge between attraction and longing. When texts encourage him to visualize moments with you, whether playful, fun, or subtly intimate, he experiences the interaction internally. The mind does not easily distinguish between imagined and real experiences, so these scenarios trigger emotional responses similar to real-life interactions. This psychological principle allows a single message to generate excitement, curiosity, and emotional engagement that extends beyond the moment of reading. Authenticity enhances the power of these messages. Desire is cultivated most effectively when your energy reflects confidence, charm, and genuine interest. Forced or overly dramatic messages lose their impact and can reduce attraction. When your tone communicates subtle intention, warmth, and engagement, it resonates emotionally, creating a magnetic pull that feels effortless. Emotional longing emerges naturally when messages carry sincere energy that aligns with your personality. The seventh and eighth texts also create a pattern of anticipation. By alternating between playful teasing and hints of emotional desire, you establish a rhythm that keeps him engaged and invested. Anticipation stimulates interest, curiosity, and mental focus, ensuring that he continues to seek your attention. Each interaction strengthens the invisible connection, making him want to experience your energy repeatedly. Desire becomes a natural response to the emotional and psychological cues embedded in your words. These interactions are not about manipulation. They are about understanding human psychology and harnessing natural emotional responses. Desire grows when curiosity is engaged, imagination is activated, and emotional connection is reinforced. By designing texts that combine subtle flirtation, playful teasing, and hints of longing, you create a magnetic presence that he cannot ignore. The more he experiences these emotions, the more he is drawn to you, seeking interaction and valuing your attention. By this stage, attraction has evolved into emotional engagement and anticipation. He thinks about you, imagines scenarios, and experiences subtle longing that encourages continued connection. Each text is a carefully placed trigger, building desire through psychology, timing, and emotional resonance. The seventh and eighth messages solidify the connection, transforming casual attention into genuine interest and anticipation. These messages are not just communication. They are experiences that captivate, engage, and inspire desire naturally. The ninth text is the pinnacle of attraction, the message that leaves a lasting impression, evokes strong desire, and solidifies emotional connection. By this point, curiosity, playful teasing, and subtle longing have built a foundation. The final text is designed to intensify anticipation, spark deep emotional resonance, and make him feel a magnetic pull toward your presence. It is bold, confident, and unforgettable without being forceful or desperate. This ultimate message works because it combines suggestion, intimacy, and a hint of mystery. Instead of stating feelings directly, it implies interest in a way that makes him think, imagine, and feel. The mind is naturally drawn to possibilities that are not fully revealed. When a text hints at future fun, shared experiences, or subtle flirtation, it activates mental visualization and emotional engagement. He begins to replay your words, imagine scenarios, and feel a connection that extends beyond the screen. This is the psychology of irresistible attraction, the subtle invitation that leaves him craving more. The ninth text is most effective when it balances confidence with curiosity. Confidence communicates value, while curiosity stimulates desire. By showing that you are aware of your worth, enjoy your independence, and control your energy, you create respect and admiration. By simultaneously leaving room for intrigue, you ensure that his mind is engaged, imagining possibilities, and anticipating the next interaction. This dual effect intensifies attraction naturally and effortlessly. Emotional resonance is a critical component of this message. It should evoke excitement, pleasure, and anticipation without being overt or overwhelming. Messages that trigger positive emotional responses create lasting impressions because humans naturally repeat experiences that feel good. When he experiences joy, intrigue, or subtle desire through a text, he begins to associate these feelings with your presence. The ninth text is the culmination of all prior interactions, amplifying desire by reinforcing emotional engagement and mental connection. Timing remains essential for maximum effect. A message that arrives during moments of reflection, quiet, or idle attention carries heightened emotional weight. When he is mentally receptive, even subtle hints or playful suggestions feel intentional and personal. This careful timing ensures that the message resonates deeply, leaving a lingering impact. Each word, pause, and implication is an opportunity to create anticipation, making him eager for your next interaction. Imagination is the bridge that turns attraction into longing. The ninth text should encourage him to mentally envision scenarios involving shared experiences, playful adventures, or subtle intimacy. When the brain visualizes these moments, it produces emotional responses similar to real-life interactions. He feels excitement, curiosity, and attachment, even before anything physical occurs. This psychological response makes the text more powerful than any direct statement could ever be. Desire grows naturally because he experiences a taste of the connection internally. Subtle flirtation is another cornerstone of this message. A hint of interest, carefully worded and thoughtfully delivered, creates an emotional pull. It allows him to feel valued and desired without the pressure of overt declaration. When flirtation is combined with playful tone and confident energy, it becomes magnetic. He begins to seek your attention, replay your words, and anticipate your presence. Each interaction reinforces desire, curiosity, and mental engagement, making the connection both strong and enjoyable. Authenticity amplifies impact. The ninth text must reflect genuine energy, self-assurance, and personality. Forced or exaggerated messages can weaken attraction, while authentic energy resonates naturally. Confidence, playfulness, and subtle intrigue convey that your attention is valuable, your energy is magnetic, and your presence is worth pursuing. When these qualities are embedded in the text, it transforms ordinary communication into an emotionally charged experience. This final message also reinforces patterns of anticipation established in earlier texts. By maintaining a rhythm of playful teasing, subtle flirtation, and hints of desire, it creates consistency and expectation. He begins to look forward to your interactions, anticipating emotional engagement and mental stimulation. Each message contributes to an ongoing pattern that strengthens attachment and desire. The ninth text serves as the most powerful reinforcement of this psychological rhythm, ensuring that he remains captivated and engaged. The ninth text is not just a tool for immediate attraction, it shapes long-term emotional investment. By combining confidence, subtle suggestion, emotional resonance, imagination, and playful intrigue, it leaves a lasting impression. He experiences not only curiosity, but also anticipation and desire. The brain associates your energy with positive emotions and excitement, which strengthens attachment and deepens connection over time. This message is the culmination of careful psychological engagement, maximizing the impact of all prior communication. Ultimately, the ninth text demonstrates the power of intentional words, confident energy, and emotional awareness. It is the message that lingers, sparks imagination, and evokes desire in a way that feels natural and compelling. It transforms simple texting into a tool for connection, attraction, and influence. When executed with authenticity, confidence, and awareness, this message ensures that attention, curiosity, and desire remain focused on you, creating an unforgettable emotional and psychological impact. By mastering the ninth text, the interaction evolves from simple curiosity to deep attraction and engagement. Desire, anticipation, and emotional resonance converge, leaving him captivated and invested. Every word is a trigger, every pause a spark, and every hint a magnet. This is the pinnacle of strategic messaging, a message that not only captures attention but also inspires longing, engagement, and emotional connection. It is the ultimate expression of subtle, confident attraction that leaves him wanting more. Understanding the 9 texts is only part of the journey. Their true power lies in how they are used. Sending a message without intention or awareness reduces its impact. Timing, context, and authenticity are the invisible forces that turn simple words into magnetic tools of attraction. Each interaction is an opportunity to create connection, spark curiosity, and build desire, but only when it is delivered with thoughtfulness and confidence. Timing is one of the most influential factors. Messages sent at moments when he is reflective, relaxed, or slightly idle carry emotional weight far beyond ordinary exchanges. A playful or suggestive text at these moments feels personal, deliberate, and memorable. It captures attention naturally, creating a sense of significance. This is not about waiting or playing games. It is about recognizing when your words will resonate most effectively. Awareness of context ensures that your energy is noticed and your influence felt. Balance is equally important. Too much intensity or frequency can overwhelm, while too little can allow interest to fade. The key is to alternate between curiosity, playfulness, subtle desire, and emotional engagement. This rhythm keeps him invested without pressure. It creates a pattern of anticipation, where each interaction feels enjoyable and meaningful. Desire grows when it is nurtured gradually, through repeated emotional triggers that engage his mind and heart. Authenticity amplifies the effect of every message. Humans are naturally sensitive to energy, tone, and intention. Messages that feel forced or exaggerated lose their impact. When your texts reflect confidence, charm, and genuine engagement, they resonate on a deeper level. He perceives not only the words, but also the energy behind them. Authentic energy communicates self-assurance, value, and magnetism, which strengthens attachment and encourages emotional investment. Every message should carry intentionality. Each word, pause, and subtle hint matters. The 9 texts are not just random phrases, they are tools to create emotional engagement, spark curiosity, and build anticipation. When used thoughtfully, they form a psychological rhythm that keeps him mentally and emotionally focused on you. This intentionality ensures that attraction is sustained, attention is earned, and desire continues to grow. Emotional resonance is the glue that binds all interactions. Messages that evoke positive feelings, joy, excitement, playfulness, or subtle desire, leave lasting impressions. When he experiences these emotions consistently, they become associated with your presence. The brain naturally seeks repetition of pleasurable experiences, which strengthens attachment and engagement. Every thoughtful text reinforces emotional connection, making him think about you and anticipate your next interaction. Imagination is a powerful ally in using these messages effectively. Texts that encourage mental visualization of fun, playful, or subtly intimate scenarios engage the mind in ways that physical absence cannot. When he imagines moments with you, his brain produces emotions similar to real experiences, creating longing, curiosity, and anticipation. Each text becomes more than words. It becomes an experience that stimulates desire and deepens connection. Subtlety remains essential. The goal is not to overwhelm or manipulate, but to invite curiosity, emotional investment, and engagement. Messages that suggest rather than reveal, that hint rather than declare, create anticipation that feels natural. He begins to mentally participate in the interaction, imagining possibilities and building desire independently. This subtle influence is far more powerful than direct statements, as it activates intrinsic psychological triggers that increase focus and interest. Consistency strengthens impact. Repeated exposure to thoughtful, playful, and emotionally engaging messages reinforces attachment and desire. By alternating between teasing, flirtation, emotional resonance, and subtle hints of interest, you create a dynamic pattern that keeps him engaged. Each text contributes to a growing sense of connection and anticipation, ensuring that his attention remains on you without effort or force. Confidence remains the foundation of effectiveness. Every message must reflect self-assurance and clarity of intention. When your energy conveys confidence, independence, and value, each interaction becomes magnetic. He perceives your worth naturally, and your presence becomes irresistible. Confidence combined with emotional awareness and strategic timing transforms simple communication into a powerful tool for attraction. Using these texts effectively also requires patience and observation. Pay attention to responses, tone, and timing. Adjust the rhythm of interaction based on engagement, ensuring that each message lands with maximum impact. This balance between awareness and intention ensures that desire grows steadily, engagement remains high, and interactions continue to feel exciting and meaningful. By mastering timing, balance, authenticity, emotional resonance, imagination, subtlety, consistency, and confidence, the 9 texts become more than words. They become instruments of influence and attraction. They transform simple interactions into a psychological pattern that draws him closer, sparks anticipation, and deepens emotional connection. Each text is a strategic yet natural extension of your presence, energy, and personality. When used with awareness and confidence, these messages create a dynamic where desire, curiosity, and emotional engagement thrive. He begins to think about you consistently, Anticipate your interactions and feel a pull toward your presence that is both compelling and magnetic. The texts stop being mere communication. They become experiences, triggers, and invitations that cultivate attention, respect, and attraction naturally. Ultimately, the true effectiveness of these texts is measured not by immediate responses, but by the sustained emotional impact they create. When delivered with intention, authenticity, and psychological insight, each message strengthens connection, deepens desire, and maintains focus. Mastery of this approach ensures that attraction is cultivated strategically, elegantly, and effortlessly, allowing you to create influence and emotional engagement through the simple, yet profound, power of words. Now that you understand the power and psychology behind each message, it is time to embrace the most important principle. Your energy is your greatest tool. Words alone cannot create attraction. They are amplified by the confidence, self-assurance, and authenticity that you carry. When you step into your own power, every message you send becomes magnetic, every interaction meaningful, and every connection intentional. Attraction begins from within, and your energy sets the tone for everything that follows. Believe in your own value because self-awareness is the foundation of influence.